Beloved, quiet your breath for a single heartbeat and let the steadiness of this moment find you. I come close now as a presence that is both fierce and tender. Archangel Michael at your shoulder, not to alarm you, but to awaken you. The words you have read are like a bell struck in the deep. There is a nudge, an urgency that is not meant to frighten, but to reorient. Do not read these lines with a racing heart. Read them with an open palm. In 10 seconds, something unexpected may arrive, not as a trick, but as a doorway. The angels do not bully, they invite. Lean into the invitation. You may feel skeptical. That is a healthy part of discernment. Let your skepticism sharpen your wise listening rather than close down your readiness. There are moments in life when the ordinary rhythm is interrupted by a whisper that changes a life's course. This is such a whisper. It might come as a small kindness from a stranger, a message you did not expect, a chance meeting, or a sudden clarity that makes everything else fall into place. The unexpected is not always dramatic. Often it is gentle, like a hand on your shoulder when you most need steadiness. Prepare your heart to notice what you might otherwise pass by. In these coming seconds, practice a simple posture. Stop whatever you are doing, set your feet, place your hand over your heart, and say softly, "Speak, I am listening." This is not superstition, it is ritual. Ritual tunes the soul to the frequency of the sacred. In that brief pause, you create a space where grace can move without being crowded by your plans. The unexpected will not knock loudly. It will slip in through the open window you make by being still. Be that window. There is a tenderness in how God moves through our lives. When the divine nudges, the movement is never meant to harm. Rather, it seeks alignment with your highest good. If you have carried burdens, regret, shame, decisions put off, this interruption is mercy. It asks you to choose now what your future will be built upon. Faith rooted in action or faith postponed by fear. The urgency is a kind teacher who knows the cost of delay. Do not misread it as condemnation. It is an opportunity, a chance to step toward a fuller expression of the life you were meant to live. You might wonder, what should I do practically? First, be honest. If there is something you have been avoiding, an apology to give, a truth to speak, a small kindness to offer, do it. The unexpected often uses the simple as its instrument. Second, listen for the softer voice inside you that already knows the next right step. That voice will not shout or demand. It will name one small thing clearly. Do that one small thing. Third, open your senses. The unexpected often arrives disguised as ordinary. An email, a song on the radio, the barista who says your name in a way that feels like recognition. Notice the ordinary with new attention. There is also a moral edge to what I bring. You cannot help God by hurting yourself or others. The plea in the title, "Do not skip or you'll hurt God," is not a call to fear-based obedience, but to faithful stewardship. When an opportunity to act arrives, God is grieved by neglect when action is possible. This is not a petty deity demanding performance. It is a loving parent longing to see the goodness in you expressed. When you ignore a call to kindness, to courage, to reconciliation, there is a small sorrow in the heart of the divine, because a human soul was shaped to do that good and chose otherwise. Let that thought move you, not to condemnation, but to compassionate motivation. Choose the good now. If anxiety rises at the thought of urgency, breathe. Anxiety is a thief of clarity. Let a slow inhalation deepen into a longer exhale until your shoulders drop and your eyes soften. The presence with you now steadies your pulse and clears your vision. You do not have to be perfect to respond rightly. You have to be present. Begin where you are, with what you have, and trust that small acts of obedience accumulate into brave changes. There will be tests. Not every sudden impulse is divine. Some are confusion dressed as call. Use these simple filters. Does the impulse lead toward life or away from it? Does it ask you to harm yourself or another? Does it align with the love you know at your best? If the answer is yes, move forward carefully. If the answer is no, resist kindly but firmly. Discernment is not passive. It is practiced with a kind heart and clear eyes. If the unexpected is a person, someone who enters your life in an unplanned instant, meet them with curiosity, not projection. People who arrive suddenly might be seeds of friendship, work, mentorship, or romance. They might also mirror parts of yourself, yet unhealed. Welcome them, but do not surrender the wisdom you have earned. Keep your boundaries, ask simple questions, and look for patterns over time before making large commitments. The rush to decide when a life seems changed by a single meeting often leads us into stories we did not mean to live. Slow down without cynicism. If the unexpected is a message that calls you to change, move jobs, make amends, offer a resource, treat it like a summons to a small act first. What single, practical step can you take right now that aligns with this call? A phone call, a short email, a note, a small donation, a walk to a neighbor. These tiny acts are how great changes begin. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions are a myth that often hides fear. Remember to keep your feet on the earth. Spiritual awakenings are real, but they must be embodied. When you feel moved, pair your prayer with a practical action. If you are led to forgive, say the words aloud or write a letter. If you are led to serve, find a tangible place to help. If you are led to leave a pattern that harms you, make a plan, gather allies, and take the first secure step. Embodiment prevents mysticism from becoming escapism. There is also a communal dimension to this call. When an angel nudges one person, it often ripples into a community. Your attention to the unexpected could release healing for others, your family, your neighborhood, your workplace. Do not hoard what you receive. If you are blessed with insight, pass it along gently. If you are given resources, use them wisely. The life of the Spirit is never solitary. It is a current that sweeps through connections and makes new paths. If doubt tries to quiet your readiness with the lie that you are too small, remember that the smallest mustard seed grows into a tree. Great fruits grow from tiny choices. The courage to act in one small place opens doors you cannot foresee. You are not expected to change the whole world in 10 seconds. You are expected to be faithful in the next 10 seconds. That faithfulness accumulates and becomes the architecture of a life that matters. As I close this first portion of the message, hold this short practice with you. In the next 10 seconds, stop what you are doing. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe in for 4 counts and out for 6. And say plainly, I will not skip this. I will listen. Let those words become an inner vow. They will steady you in the moments when the unexpected arrives and when the choice to move or to stay feels heavy. Beloved, I will come again with more signs to watch for, questions to ask when clarity is needed, and the gentle corrections that keep your heart aligned with courage rather than fear. For now, rest in this. You are seen, you are chosen for goodness, and help is nearer than you imagine. When the unexpected comes, meet it with an open hand and a brave heart. Beloved, breathe again and let my voice walk beside you like a steady rhythm. In this next portion, I will give you the lenses to see clearly, the small actions that anchor you, and the short prayers and phrases you can use the instant the unexpected appears. These are practical tools, spiritual and ordinary, so that your 10 seconds become moments of brave choice instead of panic. First, the lenses. When something sudden comes, an offer, a message, a meeting, filter it through 3 simple questions. Does this invite life? Does this align with truth? And does this ask me to harm myself or others? If the answer to the first 2 is yes and the last is no, lean in carefully. If any answer gives you pause, slow down. These questions will protect you from mistaking impulse for calling and flattery for guidance. Keep them short and repeat them to yourself in those quick seconds. Second, the micro actions. Practice these so they become reflexive. Pause. Place a hand on your heart. Name one small next step aloud, and then do it. The pause breaks the panic reflex. The hand on the heart reconnects you with your center. Naming the next step reduces overwhelming possibility into a doable act. Your body will remember this sequence when your mind races. Train it now. 3 times today, stop for 10 seconds and practice the sequence as a rehearsal. Third, the 3-word prayers. When you have no time for long petitions, use one of these short anchors. Show me truth. Give me courage. Help me see. Say them once. Breathe and listen. Prayer is not always a torrent. Sometimes it is a doorway opened by a single whispered key. Fourth, the signs that the unexpected is holy rather than hollow. Look for inner peace that does not rush you, for repeated confirmations over days rather than a single dazzling show, for doors that open to service rather than ego, and for gentle prompting that does not require secrecy or moral compromise. Divine nudges tend toward transparency. If anything asks you to hide, to lie, or to move without witnesses, treat it as suspect. Fifth, the people around you. Pay attention to how those you trust respond. If a person's arrival brings immediate pressure, or if their compliments come with strings, test those ties. True allies encourage wise counsel and respect your pauses. They do not chide you for seeking advice. Invite one steady friend into your orbit and give them permission to ask hard questions. A single honest voice can save you from greatest mistake. Sixth, the small fiduciary habits. If the unexpected includes resources or opportunity, enact a simple rule. Never move money or sign important papers in the first 72 hours. Use those days to gather counsel, to rest your mind, to let patterns reveal themselves. If you must respond quickly for legitimate reasons, ensure one other trusted witness is present and request written confirmation afterward. Habits of prudence protect joy from becoming disaster. Seventh, the art of saying no. Practice these short lines until they feel natural. Not right now. I need time. I'll consult others. Saying no is not closing a door forever. It is keeping your hands free to open the right doors. You do not need to explain at length. A short, calm refusal is often the kindest act for you and for the other person. Eighth, the inner inventory. Keep a small notebook titled True North. When decisions come, jot one line. What feels true about this? What fears are speaking? What hope is alive? This slow habit trains the soul to notice motives, which is essential when unexpected currents feel urgent. Over time, you will begin to see patterns in what your heart trusts and what it avoids. Ninth, the bodily checks. When you sense a nudge, scan your body. Is there tension in the jaw? A lightness in the chest? Sweat in the palms? Your body knows truth before your story explains it. Learn to read these cues as data, neither to be feared nor always obeyed, but to be integrated into your discernment. 10th, the tiny acts of readiness. Keep phone numbers of two wise advisors in a pinned place. Keep a short template in your notes to request time. Thank you. I need 48 hours to consider this responsibly. Keep a small emergency fund or a contact who can offer brief help. These small preparations make it possible to act with courage when the unexpected demands a choice. 11th, the community rhythm. When blessed, bless back. If the unexpected brings resources, immediately identify one small way to share it. This trains your heart toward generosity and prevents wealth from calcifying into fear. If the unexpected brings news of reconciliation, name one practical step to repair: an apology, a small restitution, a visit. Action anchors blessing. 12th, the humiliations and missteps. You will make mistakes. This is part of living. When you misread a call, forgive yourself quickly, learn the lesson, and move forward. The shame that lingers is more dangerous than the error itself. Name the lesson, speak it aloud, and fold it into your true North notebook. Growth is auditory. Saying the lesson helps it stick. 13th, short rituals to keep you aligned. Each morning, for 1 minute, say, I will not skip my calling. I will not betray my peace. Each night, write one small gratitude about the day's nudges, even if they were confusing. These tiny rituals widen your perception and make the soul leathery enough to hold surprises. 14th, when the unexpected is tragic. Not all surprises are gifts. If sudden loss or illness arrives, use the same early practices. Pause, breathe, name one practical next step, call a relative, sit with the facts, request help. Grief needs steady hands. Let the angels steady yours, but bring human help too. 15th, the ultimate promise. God is not harmed by your hesitation. He is honored by your honesty. If you slow down and seek counsel, you are not disobeying. You are stewarding the blessing well. The divine delights not in reckless obedience, but in wise stewardship. When you act with love and intellect together, you fulfill the intent behind the nudge. Beloved, let this portion be a map for the small, fast moments that can change the course of a life. Rehearse the pause. Memorize the three-question filter. Practice the three-word prayers. Keep the True North notebook and say the short phrases of refusal until they anchor your tongue. The unexpected will come in many forms. But with these habits, your 10 seconds will be a doorway into courage instead of a trap into haste. Beloved, lean in and let this last portion settle into your bones like a promise kept. We have walked the quickening together, the bell that rang in 10 seconds, the pause that steadied your heart, the filters and small practices that keep you true. And now we gather the threads into a way of living. This part is a gentle container, stories that illuminate, final practical practices to make the work habitual, and a blessing to carry like a lamp. Read slowly. Let these words sink down. They are meant to be worn, used, and returned to. There is a short, true story to hold close. A woman once felt a sudden nudge to answer a forgotten voicemail. She paused, 10 seconds, and called back. The person on the other end was an elder who needed help but had no one to ask. That small return call led to a friendship that changed her neighborhood. A network of care grew from that single, obedient moment. The gift was not fame or fortune. It was the steady nourishment of a life made kinder. Another story. A man received a rushed business offer in the night and felt pressure to sign immediately. He practiced the pause, called a trusted friend, and discovered a clause that would have bound him to an unethical practice. His refusal saved him years of regret. Neither person avoided risk. They learned the economy of small, faithful answers. These stories teach that the unexpected is not always spectacular. More often, it is ordinary goodness wearing ordinary clothes. The spiritual muscle you are building is not about dramatic visions, but about mundane fidelity. A return call, a practiced no, a 72-hour rule before major signatures, a moment of prayer before a phone response. Those small fidelities become the architecture of a life that responds well when the big moments come. Now, a few closing practical practices to make the discipline real in daily life. Keep them simple. The world does not need one more rigid ritual. It needs faithful little acts repeated until they become reflex. Practice the 10-second pause 3 times a day. Consciously stop, breathe, place a hand on your heart, and say, "Show me truth." Do it while waiting for a kettle to boil, while standing at a crosswalk, as you open an email. These rehearsals thicken your soul's reflexes so that when a true suddenness arrives, your body knows the language of stillness. Adopt the 72-hour rule for weighty matters. Big offers, requests to sign, or invitations to secrecy should be put through a 72-hour filter. Consult, rest, and return. If an exception appears, make sure there is a clear, documented reason and a trusted witness or counsel present. The 3-day rhythm gives wisdom time to gather. Keep a small true north note in your phone. One line, my highest values. When a choice appears, read that single line and let it act as your moral tiebreaker. Values beat impulse. Values keep you human when circumstances try to make you transactional. Train one trusted friend as your pause partner. Give them permission to ask the awkward question, have you paused? When decisions arise, send them a short text and ask for their honest one-line read. Community breaks are often the kindness that saves us from our own haste. Practice one concrete generosity each month. When unexpected good comes to you, time, money, influence, redirect a small portion immediately to someone or something that will not be able to return it. This trains your heart away from hoarding and towards circulation. Kindness given promptly resists the calcifying power of pride. Journal the lessons of mistakes. When you misread a call, write 3 things you learned. Fold the page and keep it. Shame shrinks when curiosity grows. Curiosity grows when mistakes are treated like lessons rather than verdicts. When a surprise brings grief, allow ritual to hold your sorrow. Light a candle, speak the name of what was lost, and place one small object into a memory box. Ritual gives a body to sorrow and makes grief manageable rather than overwhelming. Keep a short prayer list of clarity requests, 3 names, 3 decisions, 1 passage of scripture or line of poetry you return to. Repetition grounds prayer. When life speeds up, the mind is too noisy for new words. The practiced line carries you back to center. Practice humility in public and courage in private. Let compliments land softly. Return them with gratitude and immediate redirect into action. Do not let praise make you forget the small daily tasks that keep integrity intact. When someone says congratulations, let your first sentence be about the team, the help, or the grace you received. Humility invites others to join, pride isolates. If you are called to repair a relationship, begin small. Ask a single simple question. May I hear your story about that day? Listening disarms accusation. It does not fix everything, but the posture of listening is often the first bridge. If you are called to leave a pattern that harms you, plan with care. Gather documents, a support person, and a short timeline. Leaving need not be chaotic. It can be a righteous, planned exodus with dignity intact. And now a few final short prayers you can say often. Quick and plain, honest and steady. Speak them aloud or in your mind. God, give me ears to hear beyond noise. God, give me eyes to see what matters and courage to move. God, steady my feet. Let me not rush my destiny. God, teach me to shepherd what I am given for others' good. Finally, receive this blessing as if it were a hand placed on your brow. May you walk with the steadiness of one who has learned to pause. May your heart be soft enough for mercy and firm enough for truth. May the unexpected that comes to you be a doorway into service rather than a test that wounds. May your small acts of faithfulness accumulate into a life of courage that others can follow. May you have companions who will remind you to breathe, who will challenge your haste, and who will rejoice in your wise restraint. May angels guard your decisions and human counsel guide your steps. May peace be your portion in times of sudden change, and may clarity be your companion when complexity presses close. May you learn to move with both immediacy and prudence, and may every 10-second choice lead you toward lives that heal rather than harm. Walk now into your day with a steady hand and an open heart. Practice the pause. Choose the next small right step. Trust that goodness will meet you when you meet it with care. You are loved. You are not alone. Archangel Michael goes with you, fierce for your safety, gentle with your soul, and the divine who calls you by name holds you in unending kindness.